we are live.
Hey, good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I was just going through all these beautiful photos because I know you love photos.
I love photos.
Yeah,
we
and
also,
look at you.
I also, instead of a photo,
I have the beautiful.
this is the muse.
Yeah. She's everyone's muse. She's so beautiful.
Oh.
Good morning. I'm Iris Forcier.
And I'm Charlene Chapman.
Yes, and we're with Coffeeandpodcast, and we are on episode 31.
I know. Yay!
I'm
We're
so excited. Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. Oh, but cheers.
Oh, yes. Cheers.
Coffeeandpodcast. Oh.
Bam.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
and to commemorate,
delicious.
we've got donuts.
Little donuts.
Fun little teeny tiny donuts.
Yeah, donuts. So good.
I think so cute. Look,
I've
to
already
show
had
you
them.
how tiny they are.
Yeah, look,
They're just,
I'm already into it. My third donut.
They're so super
thank
cute.
you.
Oh, you're welcome. And we changed our drop to Christmas.
I know.
I don't have everything out, but
fabulous taste.
I just needed a little
Charlene
bit.
is amazing with decoration.
Oh,
yes,
so sweet.
As you can tell. Here,
Look at her. She's striking.
Studious.
She's so elegant.
Black and white's
elegante.
Classic.
I love
go-to.
black. Yeah, it's a
Great.
very cute. It's a dress. It's a nice knit dress.
You could wear this out.
Oh, it's funny. It has this really thick.
It's
to
got
make
like
it
what is
like
that?
It's like a
It's
card, not a cardboard, but like a stiff fabric to make the
Wow, I don't even know what kind of fabric that is under there.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I was wondering, but so maybe you guys can decide or not decide or tell
while
what
we're
I'm doing.
chatting.
Maybe
you
guys can think about it.
Think about that.
Yeah.
So
how have you been? It's
oh my
beautiful,
God.
sunny morning.
Yes, and my drive here was incredible, and the clouds are like just below the mountains, so it makes all our mountains here look like they're. I was like, is that a cloud or a mountain? No, it makes the whole all these mountains look like they're floating.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You must see that all the time with your drive.
It's beautiful over here.
Yeah,
it is so beautiful
Pacific
over
Northwest.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I swear to God, though, getting here, if they ever move that bus stop, that's my landmark out there on the road down there. I'm like, I'm going to Sherwin's. Where's that bus stop? And then I turn left. It's pretty funny.
That is too cute.
I'm a landmark person.
No, I am too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's like people ask me, so what road?
Went straight.
What street is that on? I'm like, it's just past the McDonald's and the blah blah blah.
Anyway, happy late Thanksgiving. You can have some more coffee. Yeah. I know you like it while it's hot.
I do.
She does. I
like it like, I swear, I cook it to 200 degrees, which probably kills all the nutrient value. No, I cook it hot and then I let it cool down.
Oh, okay.
But I do like it.
Because you don't want to burn your stomach.
Oh, no. I mean, I've done that once or twice, but not a good feeling.
But anyway, it's Thanksgiving weekend. We just had Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving?
It's really good. We went to Terry's, and that's my daughter's mother-in-law. She's always gracious. Also has fabulous food. She's known for her cooking and her treats.
Did you bring anything?
No, she didn't want me to bring anything. I brought her this. Okay. I'll show you later. It's this beautiful ceramic pumpkin with a lid and flowers all coming out. It was just beautiful. So I always raise her that
classy.
way. You're so sweet.
Yeah.
I gave her last Thanksgiving, I gave her an orchid. Yeah. Do you know it has bloomed, she said, all year long. Has not stopped blooming. I go, that's because I sent it with lots of love.
That's right.
And then there's like
blooming.
3 other little orchids that are just nothing but leaves. They're not growing at all. So it's blue. It's so cute because he has smaller little orchids. Yeah. And it just loves where it's at.
It's thriving.
And then we went to one of Oscar's clients, and they're from Ghana. And so we got to experience some Ghana food, and it was good.
That must have been
it was fun. Just great music and
experience some Ghana food.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Ghana's in South Africa, right? Or Africa, yeah. That would be fascinating.
Very nice people. Very gracious people. Wow. And that's where I got the new lights that we're going to be getting.
Oh, okay. We're going to have new lights.
Yeah, it was just a fun thing that they did. But anyway, it was really nice. What about you?
Yeah. I had a domestic goddess day.
A domestic goddess day?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means that's I get up, I bake the turkey, I do my chores, which was nice. And My husband and I, after we were finished, we set up our tree, a little tree this year. Well, kind of little, like 4 feet versus 6 feet. And we did that, and we tried to get our daughter had to work that day, so we were so sad. So we got everything done, and we wanted her to come home and see the tree. And then we got in our car and went to drive to see where she works and surprise her. And then we went to the lounge, had a cocktail. And
I bet she loved that.
Yeah, she did. Well, actually, typical child fashion of yours, she'd say, "What are you guys doing here?
What are you doing here?"
Yeah, that's exactly it.
What are you doing here?
And then she was happy afterwards, you know, like then
Don't
she
embarrass
was
me,
like,
Mom and Dad.
"Do you want me to show you around?" It's so funny. Kids are funny. They're like,
she's such a cutie, but I can see her face right now.
Yeah, what are you doing here? And that's so funny you said that, because I was telling the bartender back there, you know, we had a cocktail, and she said, I said, yeah, she was surprised, and she said the same thing you just said. She's like, that's how she would have said it.
That's how she would have said it, yeah.
But I mean, she didn't mean anything negative by it. I think we really surprised her. But we wanted to surprise her.
But that's
you know,
cute.
Like that we were thinking of her, and she wasn't at home for dinner. So we came out to show our support. Anyway, that's all.
Such a good mommy dad.
So I had a good day.
Nice.
And then I have lots of leftovers, and this morning I put some in the freezer. Because I like to
I learned
ahead.
how you can throw all that stuff and make a soup.
I do. I make soups.
You throw the stuffing, or like not the stuffing, but the mashed potatoes, the carrots, the green beans, the turkey.
Oh.
You just throw it all in there because it makes like once it cooks down, it makes a cream base. And I was like, wow, that's really smart. It's on Misty's Facebook.
I don't know.
I was like, it looked delicious, and then she added the flat wavy, flat wavy, but you know the wide wavy noodles in there. Made like a turkey noodle soup. Looked delicious.
That sounds delicious.
But at first I'm like,
I just use fresh carrots and celery and onions when I go to, you know, and then I have some of the turkey broth I save in the freezer, and then I put that all in. And the chopped up turkey, the dark meat generally, and then I put it in the soup and crock pot it and let it simmer all day. And you could add cream or no cream or no potatoes. I might do the Japanese curry. I'm on a Japanese curry kick right now, so I made a beef one. Ooh. So maybe I'll try it with the turkey.
Sounds good.
Anyway.
Yeah, there was all sorts. I love going on her page because she always has all these great. So if you're looking for great recipes, she always has great recipes on there.
Forward me that, forward me her information.
Yeah, it was really, really
good.
We're
getting business cards soon, aren't we?
Oh yes, Alex, our producer, he's been working hard behind the scenes. Aww. He was able to get us it's called a Linktree QR code.
Yeah, we're working on our technology.
We have we finished creating both the back and the front. Now I just have now I just have to add the QR code to it. Okay. And then we send them off to print.
So excited.
So this way, it's a lot more fun.
A lot of people they are always asking me, where's your show, blah, blah. So if I have cards, I could just hand them that with a link on it versus me trying to figure out technology and sending them a link. And some people don't want to give out their phone number and stuff too.
Well, sure. So we're just having he's having technical difficulties trying to, you have to create an iTunes account first, which you did, and then to be able to do Apple, to be able to be on the Apple podcast.
We're not on Apple. We're on Spotify, YouTube,
and Facebook, and TikTok,
and
Instagram. Yeah, so we want to get that one too.
But our episodes are on or not
on all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, even on Spotify. Yeah, you can find them on all of them. So that's why we want to have that.
Has he updated Spotify? All the.
He went through and updated our link. Our new. What do you call it? Logo.
Oh, I gotta see it. I haven't even seen it.
So we'll. He just did all that day before yesterday. What is today?
Well, today you can sit and munch while
I get to eat.
Read.
While she gets and guess what we're doing? Guess who we're doing?
Okay, if you haven't already guessed. Wait. This lady was an amazing.
That's cute.
Artist.
Oh, I love that picture.
And there's so many photos. Sherilyn loves.
I love photos, but I just thought I already had this outfit, so I thought I'm just gonna support her and
Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing woman.
Amazing
you know,
woman.
before I start her, I think I'm going to do this backwards today. Usually at the end, I end with a quote. But today I'm going to start it off with her quote.
With my quote. Because I'm Frida. No, go ahead.
She's going to keep me on guard.
I'm in character.
She's in character. This is a quote from Frida Kahlo, the painter from Mexico. They will call you crazy because you were born with a gift of seeing things differently, and that scares them. They're going to call you intense because you were born with a value well placed to allow yourself to feel it all fully, and that intimidates them.
Wow.
They're going to call you selfish because that's right, because you found out that you're the most important thing in your life, and that doesn't suit them.
Oh.
You're going to be called in many ways, with many judgments for a long time, but stay firm on yourself and what you want, and I promise you one day they're going to call you to say, thank you for existing.
Wow.
Frida Kahlo.
I like that
And
a
that's
lot.
the badassery we're getting into.
That's
Frida.
amazing. All right,
So,
let's hear about her.
Frida Kahlo. A beautiful artist was born, Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo Calderon.
Calderon.
I know.
Calderon.
They have
I like
lots
that.
of names.
Calderon.
And had other various versions of that name. Not sure why. Oh, I have to figure out how to say this. Where she was born. I should have looked ahead at this. Coyoacan, Mexico. July 6, 1907. She sadly passed away so young, July 13th, just after her 47th birthday in Mexico City. Credits for show notes are Wikipedia, Britannica, Singular Art Magazine, which I just discovered, and it was amazing.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, yeah, donate to Wikipedia if you can. Because I did, and I'm going to continue because we get so much great information.
We use them a lot.
Okay, so before diving into the timeline of Frida, one might ask, what is Frida famous about? Frida's paintings. What's so famous about it? Frida was a Mexican painter known for her many portraits and self-portraits and works inspired by the natures and artifacts of Mexico. That's so cool. It is said that she employed a native folk art style to questions of her identity. Frida Kahlo surprises audience with her visionary ability. She was one of the first female artists to defy art's rules in order to explore her own psyche, which was filled with symbols and personal stories which captured the imagination of many artists all over the world. So in her timeline in the early 1900s, when she did start painting, she became well known in Europe and France. And France, they had bought one of the museums had even bought one of her paintings, which I couldn't find. But they even have one of her paintings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
only 47 years old.
museums.
That's that.
I know. Although Frida featured herself in events from her life in her paintings, they were often ambiguous in meaning. She did not use them only to show her subjective experience, but to raise questions about Mexican society and the construction of identity within it. She was very political, particularly gender, race, and social class. Historian Liza Blackwell has stated that Kahlo recognizes the conflict brought on by revolution ideology. What is it to be Mexican? So this was a time, if you imagine, much different from the timeline today in Mexico. Yeah. And they were, up and coming politically. And it goes through a lot of that. Modern yet pre-Columbian, young yet old, anti-Catholic yet Catholic, Western yet New World, developing yet underdeveloped, independent yet colonized, mestizo yet not Spanish or Indian. Quite the quandary. Kahlo has been described as a surrealist or magical realist. So you can kind of see that like in her work here, if you want to show that. Because you're good at showing these pictures.
That's very interesting.
And it
That's
says,
very interesting.
Yeah, she's.
I would like to meet her and see what
which
she thinks of her. What What's the story behind her painting?
It says, which she never liked being equated to, and I don't believe. So she didn't like being called all those things, but she was known for painting about her experience of pain. And let's talk about her childhood. Her childhood was really harsh. Frida was born to a German father, Guillermo Kahlo, real birth name Karl Wilhelm Kahlo. He was an interesting guy. He was born in Germany with Hungarian and Jewish roots. He adopted his name Guillermo when he attended college in Mexico. He's like, I like it here.
Oh, nice.
I was wondering, I won't go down the rabbit hole too much, but it's important to mention a little bit about him. He was a famous German, they say Meixican, because he got citizenship. Photographer.
He embraced the culture.
He did. He became known for photographing and documenting important architectural works, churches, streets, landmarks, as well as industries in Mexico at the turn of the 20th century. His work was not only artistic value, but also historical and documental importance. This was her dad.
Nice. I can see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, she was very proud of her dad. So Frida was born in a village just outside. I know, we'll show that too. She was born just outside a village in Mexico City. Oh, and I should have learned this word, so you can send us a correction on this. Coyocan. Coyocan or Coyocan.
Something like that.
At the family home, La Casa Azul, the blue house, but supposedly really down the street at her grandmother's home. Details get fuzzy about where she was born. She was either born in the blue house or down the street. They don't really know. Her parents at the time were respectively 36 and 30 when she was born. She had 2 half sisters from her dad's first marriage, and after that wife died, they were raised in a covenant. There were 7 children in total, although Frida grew up with other sisters at home. Frida described home life as very, very sad. Both parents were often sick and their marriage devoid of love. Her relationship with their mother was extremely tense. But before we get into that, this is Frida when she was young.
I really like that picture of her.
They all look a bit sad. It's a bit daunting. They all look sad, a bit daunting.
Beautiful kids, though. Family's very beautiful family.
So it's interesting because Frida described her mother as kind, active, and intelligent, but also calculating, cruel, and fanatically religious. And then
probably didn't work well with her.
No.
Look at how
even
much
though she was
Salma
young,
Hayek looks like her.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
It's You have some of those features too. It's interesting. So when Frida was 6 years old, she contracted polio, which made her right leg grow shorter and thinner than her left leg. This led to her being isolated from her peers, as she would often get bullied. Kids. While the experience made her reclusive, not a thing. While the experience made her reclusive, it made her the favorite of her dad's, as he had also suffered from a disability of his own. He suffered from epileptic seizures.
Oh, those are scary.
Kahlo credited him for making her childhood marvelous.
Oh.
He might have had a devoid marriage, but he was a good dad.
At least he was a good dad. That's good. Yeah.
He was an immense example, but we don't know the other side of that story, though, just saying.
Yeah.
He was an immense example to me, she said, of tenderness, of work. He was a photographer and a painter, and above all, an understanding of all my problems. He taught her about literature, nature, philosophy, and encouraged her to play sports to regain her strength. He also taught her about photography, and she began to help him retouch and develop and color photographs. She started school later due to her illness, and in one school in particular was short-lived, as she was called disobedient. Her stay at another school was brief due to sexually abused by a female teacher. Not much is said about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
not good.
We won't show that yet. Well, we can. This is when she starts coming into her own as a young woman, and she starts... There's so many pictures, because Shirley loves them.
I love pictures.
In 1922, Frida was accepted into a national preparatory school where only 35 girls were out of 2,000 students.
Oh, wow.
So she was smart enough to get in this school. She performed well academically, was a voracious reader, and became deeply immersed and seriously committed to Mexican culture, political activism, and issues of social justice, which I imagine back in the 1900s was a little bit easier because now you could not do that. Starting, I would say probably, I would venture to guess, 60s, 70s, it really became where you did not speak out about government. But during her time frame, they did. Because now they have a pretty tight...
Right.
So, the school had promoted, I don't know what this word is, indigenismo, a new sense of Mexican identity that took pride in the country's indigenous heritage and sought to rid itself of colonial mindset of Europe superior to Mexico. She joined a group of 9 of her other schoolmates, and they rebelled against everything conservative, pulling pranks, staged plays, and debated philosophy and Russian classics.
Oh, wow.
The name of the group was called Cachucha. That's a mouthful. Thank God I did sound that one out because I was like, Cachucha. Okay.
Cachucha.
I would have never gotten that from that. She then fibbed about her birthday and told everyone it was July 7th, 1910, which was the year of the Mexican Revolution began.
Oh my
she was
goodness,
like a little freedom fighter.
Oh my gosh, that's too cute.
And then she fell in love with Alejandro Gomez Arias, the leader of her group. Oh, and her first true love. Her parents did not approve of the relationship, and they were separated and found to write passionate love letters to each other, as one does when they're young.
Yes.
I can't imagine now.
Yeah.
Then fate would change her life. Oh, this was so sad. On September 17th, 1925, so what was she, about 15, 16, I'd say, Frida and Arias were on a bus that crashed. Several passengers died, and Frida was impaled with an iron handrail that went through her pelvis. She later described the injury as the way a sword pierces a bull.
I can just feel that.
The handrail was removed by Arias and others on the bus, which was incredibly painful to Frida.
I'm surprised they did that because once you take it out, you're going to outbleed.
And there, I know.
Wow.
And she did. So it keeps telling about what exactly happened to her. I know.
Wow.
She suffered many injuries. Her pelvic bone had been fractured. Her abdomen and uterus had been punctured by the rail. Her spine was broken in 3 places. Her right leg was broken in 11 places. Her right foot was crushed and dislocated. Her collarbone was broken, and her shoulder was dislocated.
Oh my gosh, can it get any worse? I mean...
No, but I can't imagine that she had... I don't know what pain she must have felt, because...
I'm sure the shock hopefully took over a lot of the pain. I would pray that...
God, I would hope so.
Yeah.
She spent a month in the hospital and 2 months at home before being able to return to work.
That's a short time. I would think that she would have
As she continued to have pain, they did an x-ray to discover that 3 of her vertebrae had been displayed and that she had to wear a plaster corset for 3 months, which confined her to bed. But this is cool. Her dad built this setup for her to paint a wheelchair and easel.
That's totally awesome. Way to go, Dad.
Yeah.
That's
and then I didn't realize that she had wanted to become a physician because this ended Frida's dreams of becoming a physician. I need more coffee. Hold on. Not enough. Okay, so it ended her dreams.
Her dream.
Caused her pain and illness for the rest of her life. That accident, she had to live with the pain and illnesses.
Oh, man.
One friend, Andre Trosso said that Kahlo lived dying. In late 1927, bed rest was over, and she hung out with some old classmates who were now at university, and she went on to join the Mexican Communist Party. Oh, she was such a little...
Yeah, a little firecracker.
Yeah.
Fires.
She really was. She hung out in a circle of political activists and artists, including the exiled Cuban communist Julio Antonio Mella and the Italian-American photographer Tina Modotti. At the end of Modotti's party, she met Diego Rivera. I don't know how to say it. Diego Rivera. She asked him to judge some of her paintings, and he had stated that it was obvious that this girl was an authentic artist. They soon began a relationship, and he was 21 years older than her. 21 years older than her.
Yeah.
And her parents are like, no. But she was...
I like how he's like, no.
Yeah, she was like, I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I'm not
sure. Well, at that point, she's like, I've been through so much. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Exactly.
You know?
I am not sure how this works in Mexico, but Rivera already had 2 common law wives that they were married in a Meixican in a civil ceremony in August 21st, 1929. So back then it was weird. In other countries too, you could have more than one.
So he had 2 wives and he gained her.
Both parents are quoted as saying, it is a marriage between an elephant and a dove, referring to the difference in their size. Let's see if I can find a picture for you. Oh, here we go.
That's the big difference.
Yeah.
He was a big man.
Yeah, that's a painting that she had done of them.
Wow.
Really beautiful. Here's another picture.
Oh, I like that picture.
Yeah.
That's an actual
That's
picture.
an actual photograph of them.
Yeah.
Because she became very famous eventually. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty picture of her.
I know. She was very beautiful. So she marries this guy, and the parents are like, no, this is weird. Whilst he was tall and large frame, and she was fragile and petite, her father approved of the marriage, however, because he knew Rivera had money and he would pay for Frida expensive medical care.
Oh, well,
that's sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
They lived in Cuernavaca, which I've been to. Cuernavaca.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah.
How cool is that?
That's I flew into Mexico City and then traveled around with a guide.
Yeah, wonderful.
And that was really, very different. I wouldn't do that today, me personally. I just, I've been there a bunch and I understand there are some political things at play.
You gotta watch it. You
careful.
Gotta know who you're with.
Countries.
You gotta be with the right person to take
and even
along.
if you're in the right country, with the right people, sometimes,
things happen.
Things happen. Anyways, Rivera had been commissioned to paint some murals. He was quite talented as well as a painter. The Communist Party dissolved, thank God, and branched into another political party. This whole story was a very big learning curve for me. Because each country has their own little political things they go through. So not only do you get a sense of this person that you're learning about their country and what
their
the
culture,
their country. Frida's skills sharpened here, and she started wearing traditional indigenous Mexican peasant clothing to emphasize her mestiza ancestry, long colorful skirts.
What?
I don't know what hoops are, and rebozo. I don't know what that is. Which are loose fitting tunics and flat shawls, elaborate headdresses, and massive jewelry. It was kind of cool how she usually she does though.
I usually do.
It was kind of cool how she tapped into the allegedly I know this word. Matriarch. I know this word.
Oh, mariachi?
No. Matriarchal.
Oh, it looks like mariachi from here.
Matriarchal. It's just they threw matriarch with all together. Matriarchal society. I know this word. I'm just blowing it today.
That's okay.
Of the isthmus and the telepontonic.
Yeah, I can look with that.
Dang it. Oh, I should have gone through this.
No hate mail, please.
Who had come to represent an authentic and indigenous Mexican culture, heritage, in post-revolutionary Mexico. It's amazing. Every country is having their own revolutions, and they're just in it.
Yeah.
This Tijuana outfit showed Frida to express her feminist and anti-colonial ideals. Wow, she was a revolutionist.
She was.
So she's like, people don't tell me how to dress.
Exactly, we should that one. We should. Wow.
And when Diego was hired to paint in San Francisco, they moved there in 1930, and that is supposedly when her long love affair with Hungarian-American photographer Nicholas Murray began. The couple then traveled to New York and Detroit for him to work. Frida started becoming recognized for her paintings. So cool.
Yeah.
With confidence, in an interview in the Detroit News in February 2nd, 1933, Frida stated, "Of course, Rivera does well for a little boy, but it is I who is the big artist." That's where the guttural laugh. Yes. Yeah. Frida disliked various aspects of American society, feeling that many were colonist and very boring. She once stated how she felt rage against the rich American businessmen, since she had seen thousands of people in the most terrible misery without anything to eat or a place to sleep. So I guess America's been like that forever. We think of it now as being isolated. We think of our country and the homeless and all the people out there. But I guess we've been doing this for a long time. Like isolating these poor people and not taking care of each other. So that would be a nice shift if America could change that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely a political thing too. That definitely, because, you know, other countries, they have homeless people or they have people that are starving, but they feed them. They go about ways of finding a different kind of help for those people. Right. And there's nothing wrong with, these people are not bad, because we're all a paycheck, and they fall off the wagon wheel of life, and it's hard to get back on once you're off. And we need to support our fellow humans here in America more than we do. That's just my thought.
I agree.
Anyway, she was like bummed. They didn't have any place to eat or sleep. And most impressed me here is terrifying to see the rich having parties day and night while thousands of people are dying of hunger. During this time, she had a failed pregnancy. Then her mother died 3 months later from a failed surgery in Mexico. It was quite common back then for people to die in surgery, as it was the 1930s.
Oh, this is true.
So after Frida got homesick from Mexico, they moved back to Mexico. They moved into a wealthy neighborhood, and I'm not sure if they had 2 houses, because it is said they painted Rivera House pink and white and Frida's blue. Her home became an important meeting place for artists and political activists from Mexico and abroad. So everyone knew where to find her.
Yeah, just look for her
house. The azul.
Yeah.
Oh no, it just got worse for poor Frida. She had 2 more abortions, really failed pregnancies. They weren't really, she just couldn't.
Well, I'm surprised she could even get pregnant with.
Yeah, she tried. She kept trying. I know. She really wanted to have children. It was so sad. Yeah. And
you see little Fridas running around? That'd be so cute.
And then she had an appendectomy and an amputation of 2 gangrenous toes. Her marriage to Rivera had become very strained. He blamed her, and while he had affairs before he hurt her deeply with an affair with her younger sister Christina.
Yeah.
Big no.
I watched a movie
on
them, and they had a
tumultuous.
Yeah, they gave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, getting all choked up. Relationship. And they really did love each other.
Sure.
But she could not get over that. Yeah. She could not get over that.
I
do family.
That's just like, that's just
never do
crossing the line.
I think she caught him. She walked in on him. The movie. Well, at least
I can understand if it was a stranger or
but not your family.
Not just family. That's just there's some things that got to be cut off. Anyway, she moved out and had an affair of her own with Isamu Noguchi. She later reconciled with Rivera and moved back in, and they carried on their own lives together but separate. Sounds typical. They eventually divorced due to their infidelities, but remained friends as she took care of a lot of his business for him. Definitely sounds familiar. They were also still heavily political. So they had a friendship. You know, they've been together a long time. Just because we get a divorce or we separate doesn't mean we're not.
Couldn't split from each other. I think they just were so
really
connected. Sad.
Following her separation from Rivera, she moved back to La Casa Azul and began a more productive painting period. They got remarried, and it is said while they were each more independent than before, the marriage was full of stress and more affairs. Frida had male and female lovers as well. Yeah. As Frida's health declined, she started to become more famous for her work. But this one is one of the saddest photos because she kept losing babies. Yeah, that's a sad.
See that? Oh my God! And then she spends like she's rolling around in this bed.
In pain.
She
loses the baby. She's just
pretty
so sad.
That's a pretty deep.
And it gets worse. It gets darker for poor Frida, even though her talent is soaring. In 1953, her right leg was amputated at the knee due to gangrene from failed surgeries and infections. She has suffered such a myriad of failed surgeries and health issues in her life. She was left very depressed. In 1954, July 13th, her nurse found her deceased in bed. Frida was fearless. 1954. Wow. Yeah, so sad. Frida was fearless in her convictions. To say she lived a very tortured and tumultuous life would be an understatement. Yeah. But her legacy of art and style has indeed left an impression that one does not soon forget. Selma Hayek played her in the movie, which I can't wait to find and watch, which you've watched. She kept getting more famous posthumously. R.I.P. Frida Kahlo. And then we've got
She's still so popular.
So popular. And she always will be.
She always will be. She, for such a short life, she lived her life the way she wanted to live. There's a beautiful one.
Yeah, we saw that one.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What the heck was she portraying there? I'm not quite sure what that one means.
I don't know. But there's many people
She'd be a person you want. Oh my goodness.
You know.
I don't know what this one means either. She's very, I'm not quite sure what all that means. Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to see that one.
Well, might not be able to see that, but it's a very classic.
That's Frida Kahlo.
That's that classic look that you were talking about.
Yeah, she was amazing, and that's all I have on Frida Kahlo. And you watched the movie, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
it was been a while. It was very sad because they showed her like pushing her around in the bed all the time because she got to a point where she was so bedridden, and I remember the scene with him being with the sister. And then how she's like, it was so hard for her just to walk away. Yeah. So they had something there that connected them that kept bringing them back together. Yeah. And it was such a wild ride.
So sad.
I mean, it's
That's
so sad.
Really sad.
Yeah, it's
probably what kept, just because it's probably more like a love-hate relationship. You know, we can do that with people we love.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know, and needing each other on different levels. I mean, I don't know the psychology why, but that's what I would imagine, right?
I don't know. She would be, she'd be a person you definitely, like want to chat with. But
amazingly, she left behind her legacy and her artwork, and she dared go, because in Europe when she was received, it was interesting because they didn't have the artists like her. I mean, they had amazing artists. Different.
That's shocking. I mean, even if you look at it today, it's very shock art.
It is.
It's shock art. So it's, you know what I mean?
I don't know what people, symbolism, a lot of symbolism.
Which is people are like, what?
But she was definitely recognized, even in Europe and France especially. as an amazing artist, and she really was.
Yeah.
So thank you, Frida.
Well, thank you for bringing her.
Thank you, Frida.
You're welcome. De nada.
De nada.
Thank you. That was that was crazy.
Anyway, that's my story today, and I'm sticking to it.
Well,
anyway, on that note,
yeah. Well, we are Coffee and a Podcast, and you can reach us, email us at
Coffeeandpodcast3@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And be kind to everyone. You don't know what they're going through.
And be good. Yeah. And especially right now, because I had to get my patients on, like I was telling you, over by our mall, we have a beautiful lights this time of year around the mall.
Oh, are you talking about the Tulalip Mall?
Tulalip Mall.
Oh, forget about it.
Stuck over there accidentally.
Forget about it.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
No, I can't
Stuck
even
an hour later. Well, I was coming from a store and I thought, I'm just going to go to Home Depot and return this item really quick.
No.
I went through there.
On a Black Friday.
That was a mistake.
It was Black Friday yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, because I thought all the people were coming from a different way. Let me tell you.
Nope.
I already was cutting you off and beeping at you and yelling at you.
So put your patience hat on in the holidays.
Yes,
and every day.
Please. So
anyway, thanks for watching.
Thank you. Ciao.